Congrats, you're a senior. Now everyone keeps asking you what you're going to do after graduation. Just know that we are here to help during this year and beyond to all our Greyhound alumni. You like the field of psychology and perhaps majored in it or took some classes and realized that this is the field for you. Today I want to share my own journey in college in trying to figure out what I wanted to do with psychology. Then I'll give you some guiding questions to help you figure out the area of psychology that makes sense for you. Lastly, I'll share some resources. Dr. Barry's journey. My journey can be summed up as, do what you love and the rest will come. I went to a small liberal arts college, or science college, and knew I liked the scientific method, but was more intrigued by the study of people than, say, bugs or the Archimedes principle. From my first semester taking intro psych, I was hooked. Then, in my 2 next semesters of research methods, I felt excited about my peers and I posing research questions and finding out if our hypotheses were supported. I took a variety of courses in the field, but really liked my courses in human development and educational psychology. I helped out with an upper class psych major doing some research on brain waves. That was neat, but still liked other topics better. I thought about a career as a guidance counselor, or a school psychologist, or being a high school teacher. So I tried out these ideas. I took education courses that involved school visitations and a psych class on Intro to Helping, where we practiced therapy techniques. Also, using the Career Center, I found people who did the jobs that I was interested in and took them out for coffee to figure out what their jobs were like, what they liked and didn't like about their jobs. I also got some hands-on experience working with kids to try to figure out if I wanted to be focused on the formulation of knowledge in psychology or the practice of it. I came to the realization that I liked psychology and I liked understanding what made people, and especially kids, tick, but I enjoyed the academic subject of it more than the hands-on work. I also really loved being part of a college campus, supporting students in transition. I was an evergreen equivalent at my college, and so the idea of being a college professor at a liberal arts college seemed like a great fit. I could stay in college forever. As a result, by the end of my junior year, I started working on an honors research project, scouting out doctoral programs in educational psychology or human development. I identified programs that had the following characteristics. 1, had a strong reputation as a program, national ratings, stellar faculty, good placement of recent graduates. 2, had a curriculum that allowed me to pursue courses of interest. 3, had multiple professors who were taking on students whose work I found really interesting, just in case my beloved mentor didn't get tenure or decided to leave for another institution. 4, had possibilities of funding for my graduate education. And 5, was located somewhere I could tolerate living for 5 years. This wasn't necessarily just in my backyard, but still somewhere I was willing to live. Now, my parents wondered if I should just get a job for a few years. They raised a good point. I could have worked in a research lab to make sure I liked research well enough. In my case, given my grades, research, and co-curricular experiences, my faculty thought I stood a good shot at getting into a doc program, so I figured I'd go for it. I wound up applying to about 7 programs. Unlike clinical and counseling programs that often require an interview as part of the admission process, my programs did not. However, I wanted a closer look and went to my top 2 choices where I met the professors and their students. While I liked all the schools I visited, and got into all of them, thank goodness, only one of them gave me funding, which turned out to be 4 years of guaranteed funding, the University of Maryland. The 5 professors I met with were all tenured and were really engaging and friendly. Also, their students were quite satisfied with them as mentors and as teachers. So off I went. Grad school was for sure intimidating at first and a lot of work. I doubted myself on more than one occasion as to whether or not I was cut out for it, and recall the words of a college friend who told me, if they admit you to the program, it's because they think that you can finish. So, just like Nemo, I just kept swimming, and 5 years later, I had my degree in hand, and 2 weeks after graduation, got married to my college sweetheart. A month after that, I started my job as an assistant professor at Loyola. So that's a short version of my story. Now, let me give you some questions to help furthering your story. Which courses in psychology did you enjoy the most? What do those courses have in common? While being a big fan of one professor in particular might invariably happen, think about the content of the material and why you enjoyed learning it. 2, which college experiences did you enjoy and why? Some students find themselves being fully immersed in CCSJ, while others are highly invested in Relay for Life. Some students hold internships or jobs working with children with developmental disabilities versus others who did retail. What about those experiences did you enjoy and why? 3. What types of careers are relevant for that subdiscipline of psychology? Students interested in sensation and perception, for instance, might work in higher education or in a military setting doing human factors research. Lots of students are interested in clinical psychology, but that field could involve working in various places such as a private practice, hospital, or a community center, and with different age groups and clinical topics ranging from more normative issues like career or bereavement to more severe situations like schizophrenia. 4. How important to you is the professional identity of being a psychologist? You can study people through lots of lenses: psychology, family studies, human development, sociology, anthropology, etc. You can help people with lots of different types of degrees at the master's level, like a licensed clinical professional counselor, social worker, or school counselor, or at the doctoral level, such as a licensed psychologist. Certainly other allied health professions like speech pathology and occupational therapy also help people in other important ways. Understanding the professional identities, time length for each degree, as well as the opportunities and possible limitations of each degree can help you choose the right path. Feel free to contact me or my fellow social science and pre-health colleagues to have a longer conversation about all of these options. 5. How do you feel about research? Do you like asking questions and doing research to answer those questions, or would you prefer to have someone else do that? If it's the latter, do you like the idea of taking research and translating it to inform decision makers in, say, business or the government? 6. Consider your personality. What setting would promote your job satisfaction and well-being? You might consider taking a test through the Career Center, like the Strong Interest Inventory, that can inform your choice in finding a career that suits your personality best. For me, I was high on 3 domains on that test: investigative, social, and conventional. My career hits all of these areas, which is probably why it's not just a job, but a vocation for me. I love problem solving and analyzing facts, as well as focusing on details in my research or committee meetings. I enjoy interacting with others through teaching, advising, and meeting with colleagues. I also love the flexibility in my schedule, which consists of designated times for teaching and meetings, but also time working by myself. Having a job as a full-time therapist would have depleted me in so many ways. Knowing my personality and what fills me up helped me to find a satisfying career. 7. Who are the people who can support you in your discernment? Such people might include faculty in the particular area of interest, like geropsychology, organizational psych, your Messina or major advisor, or the counseling center staff. Lastly, here are some resources to promote your discernment. 1. Use the Career Center counselors, as well as Loyola Connect and HANDSHAKE. 2. Find a relevant professional association for your intended area. For psych-specific careers, check out APA's website. 3. Review the departmental resource on how to request a letter of recommendation from a psychology faculty member. The world needs Jesuit-educated people. Take time this year to reflect upon what's captured your interest, where your passions are, and where you feel called to set the world on fire. Use your Loyola family to support you in this discernment. We are here to help now and in the years to come.